There we go. Thoughts on Bonne to Ipswich. So this has been confirmed during the first half of Denmark versus Wales that Macaulay Bonne, formerly of Charlton and QPR, has gone to Ipswich. And there is something up on the Ipswich website. Now you can see there Macaulay Bonne joins on loan. A season-long loan from QPR, 25-year-old striker, joins Raheem Harper as well. Ipswich-born Macaulay Bonne was part of the academy until under 14 level. And you can see there 45 in 90 for Leighton Orient. Off he went to Charlton. And I remember Bonne at Charlton because they came up under Lee Bowyer. And the idea was that it was Lyle Taylor who was going to be the guy up top for them. And then Taylor had a long-term injury, didn't he? And Bonne was kind of the project that was going to be trained and, used as a sub. And all of a sudden he was in the team. Did well. He did better than a few expected. That Lee Bowyer style where you did get two up top and a number 10 and runners from midfield, very much on the counter-attack, though. I thought Bonne did well. Obviously, the end to that story is Taylor did get back fit, but then, of course, didn't want to play after lockdown, did he? And Charlton, frankly, went into freefall after winning 4 out of their first 6 games and ended up getting relegated from the Championship. But Macaulay Bonne was back, and someone will help me out in the chat. I think a reasonable fee QPR paid for him. Now, obviously, QPR were paying Eze tax at that point because they had sold Eberechi Eze and got a good fee. So everyone knew they had money. But they spent out on Rob Dickey, didn't they? Lyndon Dykes, Chris Willock. Who else? Bonne, of course. Albert Adoma returned. There was a splurge of signings after Eze was sold. And in that first part of the season, it just didn't really work out for QPR generally, actually. Oftentimes it was 4-2-3-1. And Lyndon Dykes was the preferred guy, and Bonne was used out wide and coming in, and that didn't really work, did it? Then Charlie Austin comes back in, and unfortunately for Macaulay Bonne, QPR switched to a 3 at the back, and they did end up with 2 up top, but Austin coming back meant that it was Lyndon Dykes and Charlie Austin, and a little bit wrong place, wrong time, wasn't it, for Bonne? I remember doing a watch along and Bonne scoring the winner at Derby County. So, look, in terms of level, he should score goals in League One. And if the team is upwardly mobile, then, could be very much a good thing. What we've heard in terms of Paul Cook and the 4-2-3-1 system is that he does want some physicality from his main number 9. So hopefully Bonne has got enough of that, and I assume we'll get a physical number 10 that Paul Cook loves to use as well. And I think the key is that don't use Macaulay Bonne out wide. In terms of loaning a big striker, look, it's a season-long loan, and I hear the arguments both ways. But in the position Ipswich are in, where they can pay good salary, my hope as an Ipswich fan, rather than as a detached observer just analysing it, my hope is that it's a Tammy Abraham, Alexander Mitrovic type situation where both of those players were loaned into the Championship. Yes, it's a level higher, but my point still stands, I hope. And they are players that the clubs couldn't have really afforded to bring in with FFP and things of that nature. so they're players that couldn't have been afforded, but those two teams, Villa and Fulham, I'm talking Fulham 17-18 when they had Mitrovic on loan, they wouldn't have got promoted without those strikers on loan. So, yes, I accept the argument that, Bonne could go and score a load of goals, and ultimately that benefits QPR, who'll then either sell him on or, he'll go back and have a chance to get into those teams. But, Ipswich, where they are, where the new ownership wants things to move quickly, these are the type of deals that kind of need to be done. So you would assume now that QPR are happy with Austin and Dykes. QPR forever mentioning Charlie Kelman in there. So you would suspect Rangers will bring in another striker in there. But for Ipswich, who just couldn't score last season, they've got a striker now. And yes, they've got a striker in James Norwood who scored goals for fun for Tranmere at the lower level. They've got a striker now who was viable at championship level. There's a reason Warburton went back for him. There's a reason he did get goals for Charlton. He did get minutes for Charlton, and he's dropping into League One at a good age of 25. So those would be all of the pros and the cons. Let me know your thoughts on that in the chat. Lots of people are asking. 35 appearances at Loftus Road. I'm sure appearances and starts will be two entirely different things. There's something from Mark Ashton there. We're delighted to get the deal done and welcome Macaulay back to Ipswich Town. Championship experience. It's been a busy 24 hours, obviously, with Raheem Harper arriving as well, moving forward. One or two other additions as well that we hope to get over the line as soon as possible. So, looking decent, and from an Ipswich point of view, which I have to speak from sometimes, nice to see the pond that Ipswich are fishing in, essentially, because they've signed Raheem Harper and Macaulay Bonne now, who are obviously players that were both signed and wanted by championship clubs a level higher last season. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on Macaulay Bonne. Gazza says Bonne must be an upgrade on Parrot. Well, we will see, and we hope so. Ipswich lad returns home. There we go.